How are you doing? I'm Martin from Gardens for Life. Today is the 12th of September and in the Midlands of Ireland we're going to get a really cold night now. It's going to be down to 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. You never know, it might even go lower, so that means all of our tuberous plants, the Yacon and the Oca especially, are very frost tender and they may perish or they may get damage, their foliage and their leaves. You can see them here and hopefully they'll make it through the night so that they'll keep growing for another few weeks anyway. And usually a little bit of frost is okay, down to -1 or 0 is usually acceptable to them, but sometimes we end up with a few leaves that are going black or brown even after the night of the frost. So hopefully we can keep them in production for a little bit longer. There's some more over here. So just double check your weather forecast for wherever you are in the world or even in Ireland, and just double check that there is no frost where you are. If you're growing Oca or Yacon, Mashua and Jerusalem artichoke, of course, they'll be fine, especially with a mild frost. We mightn't even get a frost tonight, but in some places we probably will. I'm going to cover them with some black tarp just in case. You see all of these? These are Ocas, and the leaves are quite frost tender and they actually taste really good too. It's a lovely kind of addition to a salad green. Oca is a tuberous oxalis and it's kind of like little potatoes but more colourful. It cooks quite similarly as well, and it probably tastes almost as good, and it has a better nutritional profile actually. So we're going to have a quick look over here. These are most of the crops. I don't think this part of the garden here gets a lot of frost anyway, because the frost kind of rolls down the hill if there is any. You can see here we're kind of up the hill a little bit. You can see here there's a lot of Yacons here. So I just want to put out this video real quick just to give you a quick warning. If you are growing Oca or Yacons, you're better off to cover them if it does go to -1 or even less. Even if it's +1 or 0, I would suggest covering them just for the night and then take the covering off in the morning. Normally I wouldn't bother with that, but I'm looking at the forecast for the next 2 weeks and there isn't any other cold nights coming, so it's only tonight, and I don't mind keeping our crops alive for just the one night to make sure of it, because they'll be so much more productive and they can keep bulking up their tubers underneath the ground if you make sure that you protect them from the frost. So hopefully they'll make it through October. You never know. But sure, that's the beauty of gardening. Look at that. Aren't they beautiful? And they're making these flowers too. If you happen to be watching this video and you're wondering what is all the fuss about Oca and Yacon, all these strange vegetables, well, they are kind of a perennial vegetable. They take a little bit more care than the Mashua, that's the tuberous nasturtium, or the Jerusalem artichoke, which needs no care at all. Oca and Yacon are the same as the Mashua and Jerusalem artichoke in regards to natural pests and blight resistance. They don't suffer from any blight at all, and they grow very well here in our climate, but they are not so frost hardy. So the Oca and the Yacon, you want to make sure that you protect them from the frost. If it's an early frost, you might as well keep them going for another few weeks if it's only one night or two. So it's well worth doing. And if you haven't grown those before, take a look at our YouTube channel or website where we have them both for sale, and there's also some more detailed videos on each of them, harvesting them and planting them as well. They're fantastic vegetables, mostly from the Andes. They're an inheritance from previous civilizations. There are a lot of these kind of perennial vegetables, and they are less common in Europe because they're mostly from the Andes, except for the Jerusalem artichoke that comes from the US, same as the Apios americana. But the Oca, Mashua and Yacon come from the Peru region. We've been growing them for a very long time and they're super productive and they are really tasty as well. Especially the Yacons, we can eat those straight out of the ground in the winter or cure them for a couple of days. They're very healthy for you too. There's a little bit of inulin in them, nowhere near as much as the Jerusalem artichoke, but they are very healthy for your stomach flora. Plus it's a bit of a luxury to be able to harvest a thing that tastes kind of like a fruit, and it kind of has the same texture as a pear, and you can just dig it out of the ground in the middle of winter and it'll be fine. Pretty nice to eat as well. It's also known as winter apple. How are you doing, Doodle? I call him Doodle. His name is Levi though. How are you? How are you doing without the GPS on you? Now your sister has a GPS, isn't that right? Oh, you're very loyal, aren't you? He's a fierce, loyal dog. Very loyal. All right. Excuse me. Good. Now, this is the plastic I'm going to use. Excuse me. So, I'm not going to use builder's plastic. It's a little too heavy. This is just a cheap old tarp. Look at that, there's a spider. This is a cheap tarp from Lidl. And it's quite good quality. It's adequate. And anything at all, really, especially greenhouse plastic, would help a lot to cover the garden. But we're going to use this. That's all I've got for now. And I'm going to cover some of these plants now. Take a look at the garden, by the way. Might as well give you a quick look around. This garden is only two or 3 weeks old now. Things are taking off. Look at this. That's a new little garden bed in the middle here. Turned out quite nice. These are lamb's ear. They make a lovely purple flower, same as the marsh woundwort, which is also a wildflower. We got this lovely maple, Japanese maple, and some hardy kiwis and grapes that I grew as well. So we're going to make a trellis just over here, over the paths. All right. I think, how big is the tarp? Tarp is probably about 5 by 5 meters or so, maybe 5 by 6. I'm always afraid that if I put them on top of these Yacons, they're quite frail or fragile, and I don't want to put too much weight on top of them. Let me have a look. I think the trees are going to protect us here, but mainly I'm not too worried about it tonight, but it could drop down to 0 up here. We're on top of the hill here, and if it does drop to 0, it's not necessarily a problem because it's probably only ground frost, so the leaves should be fine. But still, I just want to make this video just to show you guys in case you need to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just carefully place the plastic over this area here, just to keep these Ocas safe, and some of the Yacons as well. Can't cover them all, but we'll see if there's any damage on these ones. At least I know I've protected some of the other ones. So let's give that a go. Alright, so that's it. It might not look like much, but it'll help to protect these plants, even though we can't cover all of our plants because that would require an awful lot of plastic. What we'll do is, we've done this before last year in December, where it went to -5 or 6, and the Yacon plants had already receded all the way into the ground. All the foliage had died back already by then, but even the tubers and the crowns in the ground, even the Oca, a little bit more hardy, but the Yacon definitely are the least frost hardy of all of them. If it goes to -5 or 6, you might be better off to dig your tubers up and keep them somewhere frost free, which would be worthwhile doing anyway, especially in the winter. Please remember, if you want to support us, you can actually give us a like. That would be highly appreciated, but also you can buy plants, tubers and cuttings on our website year round, and any of the plants that you see in our gardens here are usually available. You can also become a member of our support community, find out more on our website and read all about the benefits. Now folks, thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you the next time. We're not going to bother doing a live stream today because we are actually renovating the house and I have nowhere to do it at the moment. So we will see you next week. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.